Build the world with our friends. We build it with our opponents, or we don't build it.
I'm an independent voter.
I'm voting for Kamala Harris.
I'm voting for Trump.
I don't think conservative policies are very good at achieving what I believe is good for society.
This is a message for all of those who feel our country is too divided. We know collaboration between opponents is foundational for a healthy democracy. That means people who disagree fiercely must still build the world together. Do we agree?
Donald Trump is kind of a vacuous narcissist.
I kind of see Kamala as more of just the face of a democratic machine promoting policies that I think is going to destroy this country.
He promised so many things, and to me it's like he lied.
I believe that the Democratic Party in general represents it way better than the Republican Party.
The Republican perspective is that this is causing illegal immigration to skyrocket.
As we see with the border bill that Democrats tried to pass, and Republicans shot it down.
World in Conversation is leaving behind the old paradigms of debate and win-or-lose conversations, leading the way for opponents to join forces and break new ground. Our trained facilitators step directly into the most pressing social issues of today, confident that every viewpoint holds a piece of the solution.
Illegal and legal immigration doesn't seem as much of a distinction at this point.
Like Medicare for all.
Student loan forgiveness and
Just overall, I don't feel as safe as I did.
That he's very genuine to himself, but I don't think he's actually genuine to any of the politics he represents.
So the tensions of our different ideas are awesome, but how are you going to continue this collaboration across ideas that you don't agree with?
And holding those people accountable that we have influence on, that we elect, is something that I think we really do have power on if we all organize together.
Mm-hmm. What would you do if you saw each other on the street and one of you's a winner and one of you's a loser?
We are the ones that really need to step in and make sure that whatever the result of the election might be, it is respected.
People like you who are willing to engage one another, willing to engage across parties, across ideas, have a lot of influence. How are we going to stitch together, the electorate, the people, the citizens, so that we actually can move forward together? For over 20 years, we've pioneered a revolutionary approach that empowers those in conflict to create solutions together. We can solve problems with our opponents, one conversation at a time.
Y'all. Okay, so we are. Can you go to the title? So we're calling today's class Rainbow Life. Rainbow Life, and we're talking about LGBTQ issues, and yeah, I'm looking forward to this. So, want to introduce yourself, and then we'll go from there.
Is this on?
You were.
All right. Hi, guys. I'm Callie. I'm a senior at Penn State. I'm from South Jersey, and my major is rehabilitation human services.
Where in South Jersey?
Like Cherry Hill, so 12, right. 15 minutes from Philly.
All right. Okay, so listen. So you have 4 moms.
Yeah, I do.
So how'd you come to have 4 moms?
So I was born and raised with 2 moms, and they broke up when I was in 4th grade. I wouldn't say divorced because gay marriage was not legal back then. And then they are both currently remarried. So I have 2 stepmoms, 1 adoptive mom, and 1 biological mom.
2 stepmoms, 1 adoptive mom, 1 biological mom. Okay. Wait, though. hang on. We have to pause for a second. I see laptops open. How do you, dudes? Yo, dude, who just put your laptop away? Can you do this to the person next to you? And then I really have a question, which is, how do we get to this place in the semester and you still have your laptops open? Really? Like how that's the first thing I want to say. Second thing I want to say is this. You guys, first off, people watching the stream, all right, who are constantly commenting about how students are not paying attention and stuff, these are your kids, your grandkids, your nieces and nephews. These do not think that your family members are not behaving in a similar way. Okay? That's the nature of whatever. Gen Z, what are we in here? So, people, are we good? You got it? We're here? All right. 4 moms. And how, so how's that been? How is that?
It can be a little hectic.
Like, a
Yeah.
little, like, what do you mean?
Well, so like my parents, like I said, they got divorced in 4th grade. So like just going back and forth has been pretty easy for me, especially how they both live in both households are in New Jersey. So it's been good, but like it's a lot of love. All 4 of them, like I love them so much. They love me so much. It's not like a Cinderella situation where they're like the evil stepmom. Like I adore them very much.
So not even one of them is like the evil stepmom kind of thing.
No, so
But everyone has different personalities. So
yeah, no, they are definitely their own people. That's for sure.
You I won't even walk into that. By the way, there's like a trope or something, I don't know. And like when you have a mom and a dad, and you go ask your dad for something, and
I've never met him.
Yeah, the person who was he a sperm donor?
Yeah. Yes, it was through a cryobank.
Okay, but there's this kind of thing where it's like go ask your dad, and you go ask your dad for something, and your dad's like, oh, go ask your mom. Like it's always go ask your mom, but for you, that's like a big, huge circle. Go ask your mom. Go ask your mom.
Yes, it is a huge circle for me. So out of the 4 of them, I would say there are some that definitely have more masculine and like the others have like more like feminine characteristics. Like for example, my one mom, my birth mom, she is very big into construction working. She loves the bears. And like when people say like, oh, like, why don't you go ask your dad something? And I'm like, okay, but like just like the kind of things that like they ask me like you should ask, it's like I still get the same advice in a way, if that makes sense, because she's been a lesbian most of her life, while my one other stepmom, she recently came out. Well, like not recent, but like more recent compared to the other 3.
And you're so how, man, I feel like I want to. What's the most common question that people ask you when they find out you have 4 moms?
I don't know. I've never been asked that before. There's some people that are like, wow, how is that possible that you have 4 moms? That makes no sense. Like, and you have no dads. I think like more people are like surprised that I have no father figure in my life. And some people are like, have you ever like they ask me questions about whether if I was curious about my biological dad or things like that. And I was just curious and like just wanted a picture and a name. Like I have no active desire to meet him or like want him in my life because I have 4 people that love me very much.
But that's true of anyone who's any child of a sperm donor, right? I mean, that's going to be true. Kind of like, what is the so people who kind of struggle with this issue of of gay marriage and struggle with this kids, they're gonna. Many people will think like, oh, first off, too bad. It's really sad you don't have a father figure, and that you're gonna be messed up in some way, especially having 4 moms. My God, can you respond to that?
Yeah, I've had a lot of people come up to me and they kind of give me sympathy because I never had a male figure in my life. I was also born and raised as an only child, so like I didn't even have like a brother to go to or things like that. And like I've had this one kid in high school, so like he was born and raised in a Christian family home, and so he swears by the Bible. He loves the Bible. And then he said, "How do you feel that your parents are going to hell?" And I'm like, how do you want me to?
All 4 of them.
Yeah, all 4 of them. And I'm
Yeah.
like, how do you want me to respond to that? Because I don't know. Like everyone has their own definition when it comes to things, and I feel like a lot of people, when it comes to religion, I'm not as knowledgeable of it, but I do know there are some people where they like to pick and choose. Be like, oh, you're gay, you're going to hell, and I'm like, do you eat pork?
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah, it's a thing that we all pick and choose. Yeah. I mean, we point a finger out at other people. We have 3 coming back at us. Mm-hmm. What's the coolest part of having 4 moms? Yeah, what's the coolest part?
So if you ask that question to me when I was in 5th grade, I would say the Christmas presents.
Yeah.
But now that I am older and more mature, I would say each mom also has a new, different outlook upon life. So I can ask all 4 of them the same question, but I'll also get different answers, similar answers. So I can kind of just like, I can see everyone's different personality and learn from all of them.
Okay, so everything you said thus far would be true of you if you had a mom and a dad and they split up and they got remarried and were in 2 more straight relationships, right? So you had 2 moms and 2 dads. So everything you've said thus far is the exact same as other people in this classroom who live in that position, right? So therefore, I guess I want to ask, how are you different? Like, how are you different from those people?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I mean, we're all human. We all go to Penn State.
Yeah.
So how different are we really?
Yeah. I'm thinking okay, I'll give you one way in which you're different. You're probably more open to, like, open in like a deep emotional, spiritual way to same-sex marriage than other people who aren't raised inside of a same-sex marriage.
I actually have something to say because of that. Sometimes when it comes to same-sex marriage or people coming out, I feel I'm a little too laid back on it. Like, I remember when I was in high school, a coworker, he came up to me and he was just coming out of the closet and saying like, hey, I think I'm gay. And I'm just like, oh, okay, cool. When like, I mean, I didn't make that big of a reaction like some other people will. And I later came up to him, apologized, thinking back on it. I was like, hey, I'm sorry if you think I was like brushing you off or that I didn't care. It's just my normal everyday life. So.
Yeah, it's normal every day. Well, everything is normal every day. Look, once we experience things, right? I mean, that's what this class is about, is just seeing the normal everyday that's all around us in a way. Okay, so I want to go back to your, yeah, you strike me as, okay, just like any other student who's been up here. So I guess I'm wondering, what would you say to people who are, okay, hang on, can you go to the next slide first off? So 1991 is when I first started teaching this class. And support, this is just among Americans, was 24%, which is like, 1 in 4 people. And now we're close to 3 in 4 people in the United States who say, no, that's fine. Your family is perfectly wonderful and fine as a family and should be supported just like every other family, okay? That's a huge difference. I mean, that, when you look out over this room, 75% of this room is a lot of people. And so, it's huge. And if we go to the next slide, if you look at this is a just a map of places where same-sex marriage is legal, and you notice that most of these countries are people of European ancestry, right? South Africa, Argentina, Uruguay, Paraguay, Chile, So I just wanted to show that, but I want to really go to you and say, what would you say to can you go back one slide? The 30%, what would you want to say? Like, you being the representative, you don't get any more inside of a same-sex marriage than you, right? Yeah. What would you want to say to people? Because this is, wait, can you go forward one more? More and more of these countries in the world are going to turn green. Okay, they are, because we are moving in the direction of greater support for same-sex marriage. So, your family is just increasing each year, each decade, just more and more accepted all over the world. Okay, and by the way, it doesn't mean that people in all these other countries don't accept same-sex marriage. It just means that there are no laws making it legal. But anyway, what would you want to say to the 30%?
I'll say just let people be themselves. Just let people, be happy, do what makes you happy. Because if you're going to be living a false life where you're suppressing your true identity, like, that's not truly living, in my opinion. There's surviving and then there's living life. And if you are just not going to live life the way you want, like, I would say you're not truly experiencing it. And we all have one life, so we should just make the most of what we got.
And so you're looking at your moms, who you love, and you're saying, I want for them, I'm really grateful that the 4 of them are living the life that is really, that they're true, that's their true life, that's their true path. And I am really happy for them. And you're really happy for you.
I would say I'm very lucky to have all 4 in my life.
Okay, hang on. So I just want to sit with that for a second. I'm really lucky. So look, there are definitely people who watch. There are people in the classroom who are just gonna struggle, right? But there are definitely people also who watch the stream, right? And to them, I just want to say, listen, man. She just said, I'm really lucky to have all 4 of my moms in my life. Like, what's the struggle? Like, you know what I mean?
There is no struggle.
Yeah, there's no struggle.
I would say the only struggle we really experienced were just laws and, like, religion are the two. So when I was in high school, we decided to take a trip to Punta Cana, and so I was, like, so excited. But then I, like, remembered, oh my God, I totally forgot, like, not everyone is totally accepting of gay culture. And so I, like, told them, I was like, hey, can you guys please be careful and, like, I don't know, just, like, limit your PDA outside of the resort or things like that. And they thought, like, oh, she's being so cute, she's looking out for us. But I was being dead serious then, and I was being dead serious now, because in some parts of the world it could be dangerous, which is very unfortunate.
Yeah, totally.
And when it comes to religion, my one stepmother, she's Catholic, born and raised, still is Catholic, but because of who she chose to marry, she could not get married in the Catholic Church.
Yeah, which is like, but that'll change. That'll change for sure. You know, the one thing that people think is that if you're raised by gay parents, your parents are gonna turn you gay.
That is not true. That's
Yeah.
not true.
I mean, I've never known. Yeah. Did they talk about? Wait, I'm gonna assume you're straight. You talk to them about your boyfriends or guys you have crushes or whatever it is? Like, what do you? How?
So they keep bugging me about that stuff, but I try to say like dead silent, like what happens at college stays at college. Like I don't really try to tell them like everything, like boyfriends or guys or things like that. I just and like.
So you're like most other students. You're not
Yeah.
going home talking to your parents about.
No,
Yeah.
I don't go around talking. Like I am single, so like I don't have like a boyfriend. So they're like, oh, how's Jacob doing, or like so and so, and I just don't have that. And like they know I'm straight, so they don't even bring up girlfriend or things like that.
When did you have the straight conversation for the first time with them?
What do you mean by
I
that?
mean, like, when did that first enter the conversation? Like, are you straight? Are you gay? Are you?
We never had that conversation.
Oh my God! Oh my God! God, you are a completely normal family, so-called normal family. Oh my God, that's awesome, dude! Give a high five to all four moms. Yeah.
Thank you.
That's great. Yeah. Because I mean, okay, that's just so cool. Because people are gonna think like, oh my God, from a really young age, they must have been talking to you about this, and of course they're not. Of course they're not.
And funny about young age, I've actually experienced a lot more difficulties like while I was younger. Like I became like very like when my parents were still together, I became very defensive for them because like a little like third or fourth grader, it's gonna be really hard for them to like truly understand this life because their home life is mom and dad, and they didn't even know there was another option.
Yeah.
So they're like, what do you mean you have no dad? That's impossible. So I would fight them for that.
But how quickly did kids accept?
I've noticed when I was explaining to them, a lot more people became less confused around like 5th or 6th grade.
Yeah. Okay. It's just a thing. Yeah. Kids are totally accepting. The only kids that are not accepting are going to be the kids whose parents tell them to not be accepting. Otherwise, kids don't care if you have 2 moms or 4 moms or 10 moms. It's irrelevant. Dude, do we have a question on the stream by chance? All right, man.
Okay, hi. I'm just really curious. What do you call like each of your moms?
Oh,
like
yeah.
like how many possible I need to know.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4. No, no, I'm joking. I'm totally joking. No, so I used like when I was like really little, I used to do mama and mommy, but that's when I was like really little and I only had 2. But now they broke up and remarried, so I just say Mom Erin, Mom Lori, or just something like that. Like they totally understand how I incorporate their first names sometimes just to avoid confusion.
Yeah. I didn't think to ask that. Are there any stream questions? Which mom do you go to when you were a kid, wanted to stay out longer? Yeah, was there one mom that when you were a kid and you knew you had her, you wanted to stay out longer or do something you weren't allowed to do?
I would say all 4, they're pretty lenient, but I definitely had 1 or 2 that were much more lenient than the others.
Uh-huh.
So like if I wanted to, I would like know like, hey, do you mind if I borrow your car if I can go out, or if I can stay out a little later?
Yeah. Cool. Dude, Dee's got a question. All right, last question.
If you grew up in what you might call a traditional household, do you think your life would be much more different than what you have now, or do you think it would be about the same?
Dude,
absolutely.
Once again, You killed it with the question. Beautiful question. All right.
Yeah, no, that's a really good question. I would say my life would be completely different, not just like how like where I am currently, but like how I am as a person. I think I would definitely not be as open-minded if I was born and raised with mom and dad. But yeah, like I'm not even sure if I would be going to Penn State because my adoptive mom, she's an alumni here, and I knew I wanted to go to Penn State when I saw my first football game too. So I probably wouldn't be sitting here and talking to all of you guys.
Yeah. You could be. I mean, you'd be really open-minded and with straight parents, right? I mean, there are plenty of straight parents who are super open-minded, but the thing is, you live in a certain space that opens your mind just a little bit in a really unique way. Yeah, that's a little bit different.
I definitely have that unique perspective
Yeah.
on life.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Dude, awesome, man. Thanks. I appreciate it. Yeah. Wait, and which mom watches the class?
Lori.
Mom Lori?
Griffith.
Mom Lori, thanks for watching the class. Your daughter's cool. All right. Yeah, thanks. All right. Man, that's just like yeah, thanks for Callie. Thanks for talking. Okay, we ready? Two. Okay, y'all, introduce thyselves.
Hi, I'm Allison. I'm a junior and I'm studying chemical engineering.
Chemical engineering. All right.
Hi, I'm Akira. I'm a pre-med major and I'm from Philly and I'm a sophomore.
Mm-hmm. Okay, wait, where'd you say you're from?
Gettysburg, PA.
Ah, all right. Okay, so you both applied to TA, you both identified as bisexual, okay? So I want to have a conversation about, I just want to go in a slightly different direction and just kind of thinking about this, right? So first, before we go to the slide, I want to ask you this. What percentage of Gen Zers, so you're in Gen Z, right? What percentage of, don't go to the next slide either. What percentage of Gen Zers are LGBTQ, let's say, or queer? What's your gut feeling?
I'm not really sure. Maybe like 15%, maybe.
What do you think?
Maybe like 20, 25.
20 or 25 of Gen Zers. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, first off, go to the next slide. So here's adults in the U.S. So, you look at the numbers. This is kind of straightforward to what has been true. It's slowly going up, the numbers, but mostly, you ask percentage of people who are just gay or lesbian. It's been around 3% forever, and but of all people in what we call the queer community, almost 60% identify as bisexual. That's why I feel like it's really good to have this conversation with the two of you. Okay, so now Gen Zers. So you said 15% and you said about 20%. Go to the next slide. So here is, wait, do you have that? So here's the number, right? Gen Z, 22.3. So we'll say 22.5% identify as LGBTQ, which is pretty significant. When you look at the numbers here, compared to millennials, look at how it just sort of drops. Very much dropped. The silent generation. These are people who are elderly. And I'm a baby boomer, but I'm kind of at the tail end of the baby boomers area, right? 2.3%. Look at that. 2.3%. You all, 22.3. I mean, just class, just hold that for a second. Think about what that means and the implications for that when you really look at these numbers. But here, this is bisexual, right? 15.3% of Gen Zers identify as bisexual, okay? And how many women and how many men? What do you think the difference is? Is it more men or more women?
I feel it could be more women.
Same. What do you
Yeah.
what do you think the number is for women? If it's 15.3%. Yeah.
Say about 8.
Yeah. No. Here, go to the next slide. No. So, 20% of Gen Z women. So the two of you represent identifying as bisexual, right? You represent 1 in 5 women in the Gen Z population. Like, dudes, like we really need to be having this conversation. This is 1 in 5 people. So, damn. Okay, so here's a question I've got. Why is it so high? Why are so many women in the Gen Z population identifying as bisexual? Like, what's going on? What do you think? What's just from what you see, from what you hear? What? Yeah, push it up.
I feel like it's like more stigmatized for men to be gay or like identify at all with the LGBT community. Like I feel like for women it's been more sexualized for us to, experiment with each other. But for men it's more like it's going against like the norms of being like dominant and masculine.
Yeah, well, if you look at even just women in Gen Z who identify as lesbian, though, it's 3% and men 2.6, okay? But how about you, Allison? What do you think?
Yeah, I agree with what she said. I think it's like really stigmatized. Like, in middle school, everybody's like, "Oh, what are you doing? Is that gay, bro?" Like, it's just like a harder thing for men, I feel. It's more, and women, I feel like, are more like loving and caring in some situations, so it could be more accepted.
Yeah, okay, we'll go into that a little bit. What do you see? Women being, so maybe women are, because listen, man, 1 in 5 are identifying as bisexual, okay? So that doesn't mean, these things change. So just like, here at the university, a lot of, hey, wait, by the way, can we hit pause for a second? Hey, dudes, like, dude, listen, man. Can I just say this? If you're gonna be on your phone, if you're gonna be on your phone, okay, don't hold it up like this. Jesus, it's so disrespectful. Look, these two, your two classmates down here. Your two classmates down here are talking about something that it's really big, and you're like holding your phone up like, I don't know what you're doing. What are you doing? Looking at cooking recipes or something? Like, what the fuck? It's really unbelievable, man. Fuck. Okay, sorry. I had to be a dad for a second. I'd love to be a dad, man. You have, if the cameras weren't on, I would go off on some of you sometimes, man. But the cameras are on. Whatever. Okay, ready? What's going on though? 1 in 5. Like it can change over time, right? So a lot of people at the university, people experiment with things, so they'll maybe identify one way, and a year after they graduate, they change how they identify, and all that kind of stuff. But what do you think's going on?
I think it has to do with the new day and age. There's so many there's access to technology, and before it might have been hard to find people who think like you. If you're for the baby boomers and you think you might be gay or something like that, it might be hard to find other people like that. But with technology, you can find somebody in any instance that can think that way.
Yeah, for sure. When I was a kid, you didn't. Everyone I knew when I was young who was thinking about these issues, they couldn't get any questions to any. I mean, there's no one to go. If you didn't know someone, you couldn't. If you didn't have 4 moms, and of course nobody did, and if they did, it was hidden. You just had no way to figure it out. But why women? Like, why so many women? Like, I mean, okay, men are idiots, right? Is one, but what is that? Do you have a thought? Like,
I don't know. Just like, you know what, saying about the media and like, I don't know. It's just easier for be open about.
Be open. So there's an openness. There's a willingness to kind of share what's within, right? To connect. How do you connect with other women in a way that you don't with men? So the two of you have had the experiences of being able to connect with men and women, straight men and women, and then other people who are bi or whatever. What do you experience? Like, what do you see in terms of that connection? You know.
I just. Well, wait. What was the question again? I'm so sorry.
Well, the question is, I'm not really wanting to get personal. Yeah, I don't really want to get. I'm trying to be sociological, actually. Like, what do you? I just can't believe the number is 20% of Gen Zers identify as bisexual. Okay. Now, mind you, some Gen Zers are going to identify as bisexual, but they never actually been with anybody. I mean, that's fairly common. That I talk to people and they're like, "Hey, I'm bisexual, but I've never been with a guy." I'm like, "Well, how long have you been bisexual?" "Well, 4 years, but I've only ever had girlfriends." I'm like, "Well, then how do you know you're bisexual? Like, is that a thing? Are you just saying you're bisexual or whatever?" So there's some of that going on, right? But I'm just trying to understand, for people who are trying to understand your generation, what are you experiencing that people in my generation didn't experience? What are you seeing? What's happening?
I think there's like a big sense of community that's also like pretty supportive. And like to the people that like haven't been in a relationship with like the same gender but like identify as bisexual, I think that's fine too. Like, you know, I think you just know. It's like, how do you know you're straight? I just know whenever I'm going up, I like guys or I like girls, you know?
Do you have anything to add to that? Or what would you add to it?
Yeah, I just say like, you like what you like, and I feel like nowadays it's just
No, just hold it really close.
Oh. Yeah, I feel like people are just more open to trying new things and like exploring their sexuality. Like, it was just more frowned upon from your generation.
Yeah, definitely. You had.
So.
So this is what the two of you are seeing in conversations with other people who identify as bisexual. What's happening is that people are just feeling like, hey, let me just explore this. If I have a little bit of a feeling, because look, if you've been told your whole life that you have to be straight, like when I go back to when I was a kid, it was really, if you were gonna be gay, it was hard to be on that path. Like you really had to feel strongly that you were gay, and even you had to feel so strongly, and then you had to have courage, and then you had to have just a real intense willingness to go through all the shit that you were going to have to go through, unless you had a small group of people in your life. So it was very easy to be in the closet, because you didn't even need a lock on the door. You just need to kind of close the door a little bit, because the closet, it's just not, there's no reason to come out of the closet. But what's going on with Gen Z is, as people get more and more open to all issues related to the queer community, all issues of sexuality, it's a lot easier to just say, wait a minute, maybe I'm feeling, this is what, Akira, this is, I think, this is what both of you are saying. It's a lot easier if you're feeling something just a little bit, to say, hey, let me explore what that is. Let me open the closet door a little and just see what that is. And that's what I'm hearing the two of you say. Yeah. Do you get a lot of pushback from the queer community about by saying you're bisexual? Like, the people who are gay or lesbian who are trying to push you to choose one or the other?
I mean, not me personally, but like I know that like that's a big conversation going on right now. Like some people might think if you're bisexual, you're like half straight, or you're not really like fully there. But like I feel like, you know, if you're bisexual, you're a part of the LGBTQ community. I mean, that's what the B is. I mean, I feel like this community is like supposed to be like supporting of one another. If we're just like attacking each other, it's not really helping each other grow.
Kira, how about you? What do you like?
I feel like I do experience some pushback with like both my male partners and then my women, like that I do date, just because like I feel like with the women it's like they don't really trust that I don't wanna that I wouldn't like leave them for a man.
Oh, so with lesbian women you're talking about?
Yes.
Yep.
And then for like men, I feel like they kind of invalidate my identity. They'd like say like, oh, it's just a phase or things like that. So I don't know, for me, I do feel validated in my identity.
Yeah, like did both of you always see yourselves as bisexual, or did you kind of walk into that from a particular direction? Like, did you first think, oh, I must be lesbian? Or
No, I mean, when I was in middle school, I didn't even know what it was. Like, like somebody asked me one day, like, you know, during gym class, and I had no idea what they were talking about. It wasn't until like I got to high school and I like started meeting other people who like identified with the LGBT community, is like when I started to like realize like, oh, that's what these feelings that I have are. Like these, like, I think women are cool. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. How about you?
I actually went to an all-girls Catholic school, and there was like a lot of experimenting going on there, and I feel like that's really when I started realizing I liked girls, I liked women. Yeah.
So, experimenting at a Catholic school.
Yeah.
Did the Catholic hierarchy in the Vatican know that was going on?
No, they did not.
No. Hang on. Let me correct you on that. They did, actually. Experimenting happens whenever you put people together. Oh man. So, So what I'm hearing is, look, human beings are going to experiment, right? And human beings, sexuality is a thing that it's very difficult to contain, because it's feelings we have, right? And when you're younger, the feelings just start going in all sorts of directions. And so, you all are in this generation where you're being told from a pretty young age, you're getting the message that, hey, it's okay to just be who you are, and it's okay to experiment. And, and then this is what we get. Like, this is really what we get, which I find fascinating to viewers of a certain age on the stream. If you tell young people to follow the feelings that are inside of you, and you don't crush their curiosity and crush their morality with your strict mores, whatever they are, wherever you get them from, but you actually, well, I guess they tried. You were Catholic. Were you Catholic? All right. So, but if you just allow people to be who they are, then you get 20%. That's intense. Okay, here's another question. I'm going to ask this. I'm an I'm an old dude, okay? One thing that, when you say, you talk, man, I don't think I can ask this question in a way. I don't think I can ask it in a way. Let me go, I'm going to go in a slightly different direction. Akira, can I ask you a question? As a woman of color, we see the, like, homophobia, right? Just like the real struggles with anything related to the queer community among black and brown communities is much higher than in the white communities. How do you experience that?
So, like I said, my family is very religious, and my grandma, she was actually a reverend. And so my aunt, she's a transgender woman, and I see this very clearly. Like when I came out to my family, it was more like I was saying about the invalidation of liking women. But for my aunt, like, they kind of just didn't really acknowledge it. Like, especially when she was just transitioning, they would still, after she changed her name and everything, they'd still refer to her as her dead name or when she was born with.
Mm-hmm.
They would not speak about her being a woman. They would refer to her, my grandma would refer to her as her son, things like that. So just seeing that was very heartbreaking for me coming out like to my family, but I knew that they wouldn't treat me like that. I knew that they would just pass it off as a phase, whatever. But you know, I still do advocate for her to my family. I make sure to correct them and etc. Yeah.
So they would they would assume that you were going through a phase too. You were going through some kind of a phase. Hey, that's pretty. Where did you develop that? Like, even just the two of you to sit up here, but where did you develop that strength, that power, that strength, man, to just stand up to your family in a way, even come out to your family? Where'd that come from?
For me, I've never really I've always been the type to rebel against my family.
Mm-hmm.
So it was easier for me to come out about myself and just tell them who I am. Never really been the one to hide or whatever. So it's just easy for me personally. And I feel like the media has a big role in that as well. I'm seeing people online come out to their family. I'm seeing my friends and family. So I don't know, it's just easier for me.
So you're watching and you're just following. You're following there's something in you that says no. What would you say, and then I have a question for you. What would you say to people on the stream, right, who are feeling like, hey, who are thinking it's just a phase? What do you want them to know about you? What would you want people to know about you? Wait, how old are you? I'm 19. You're 19. All right. So here, listen, man. You're 19. There are people watching who are going to watch the video literally from all over the world. People my age, people older than me, people whatever. What do you think they need to know about this young 19-year-old Gen Z woman of color in the United States who's saying, I'm going to be me, and I'm just being me. So here's what I want you to know.
I just say exactly that. I'm just being me. I don't really think there's anything wrong with expressing yourself how you want to. You know, obviously there's always going to be people against you. There's always going to be people with different opinions than you. But you can only really judge yourself and do what you want. You can't let people control what you want to be, what you want to do. Eventually your true self is going to show, so you shouldn't really hide it for anyone.
Yeah, dude, awesome, man. I like that. That's very cool. Listen, you can't, it's wait, what was the thing that I stopped you on? You said about having 4 moms was, what did I say? Nah, it's like the thing that you said it was cool. I think is what you said. I think it was the thing you said it was cool. Yeah, about having 4 moms. It was cool. I think you said that. And I'm just like, I just want to stop. And I just want to stop on that. And you're saying, I'm just me, man. Stop judging. You're not demanding that other people become bisexual, right? No, you're just want to be you. And like, so listen, Allison, what is the coolest part, truly, about dating people from across the alphabet spectrum?
I mean, I just think like there's more care, there's more love, like there's more acceptance. Like I feel like people that are like, you know, part of the LGBT community like could be like less racist or anything like that, and that's something I look for in a partner. And so I just like that open-mindedness. I feel like people in the LGBT community are pretty open-minded.
Yeah, not all though. I want to be clear. No, yeah, but you look for that.
Yeah, I do. I look for that.
And you, on this dimension of your life, who you're just attracted to spiritually and physically and mentally and so many levels, right? Because it's so many layers. It's like you're just saying, yeah, I'm just open. Yeah. I'm wide open. Okay, what would you say to people who have a problem with that?
Frankly, I don't care. I mean, you can have a problem with me. I'm going to say, damn, that's crazy. And I'm going to continue living my best life.
Yeah.
Like, there's lots of people that have problems with gay people, you know. I know some of them, like, pretty well, but here I am, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't understand what the problem would be for either of you, or Callie, for you, right? I mean, you grow up or your moms. It's like, here you are. You're living life, man. And none of the three of you are asking anybody for anything. You guys aren't asking for special rights, are you? No. That's the thing people say, you're asking for special rights and you want special things. And it's like, I don't hear you asking for that. I hear you asking just to be who you are. Huh. Yeah. All right. Do we have a question from the stream, bro?
Give it to her.
To you, I think Akira is your name. How do you, or I guess both of you, how do you deal with like a lack of acceptance of bisexuality, like both inside and outside of the community? Because I know your family, for you, Akira, said, oh, it's just a phase, like it'll pass. But like, I know I've seen like a lot of people say like bisexuality like isn't real, or like one day you'll grow up and like pick a side, like stuff like that.
Yeah, how do you deal with that? Like,
I don't really care. Like, I just keep living. Like, I don't know. I obviously I like advocate a lot for LGBT and transgender rights. So, you know, I keep my family informed.
When you say rights, you mean just treat the community, members of the community, like you would treat anybody else.
Yes.
It's not special, right? You're not asking for special things. You're saying, just treat me like you would treat anybody else.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. That's fair. Including getting married, right?
Yes.
Which I never really understand the problem with marriage, because at least in this country, we have a separation of religion, church, and state. So, like, what's the problem with queer people getting married? Because we shouldn't. Church and state, by the way, people, they shouldn't be coming together anyway. That's the whole reason the United States got created. So, like, okay, how do you deal with it? Her question. That's the struggle with people not being accepted inside the community, inside the queer community, who are telling you got to go one way or the other. Pick a side, damn it.
I mean, I've been close with people like that, and so I just kind of ignore it, to be honest. Like, I don't think it's like pick a side, like, you know, you're bisexual because you like both men and women. You like everybody, you're pansexual. Like, that's just how that works. Like there is no pick a side because you like both sides. I can like both chocolate and vanilla ice cream. Doesn't mean I have to just like one.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't get that. Well, the problem is it's threatening for people who are gay or lesbian, right? Because then it feels like, whoa, you get certain privileges that they don't have, and like you're half in, and I think it was a much bigger issue in the past, I should say, but now as the queer rights have grown and expanded, it's less of a struggle, but. You got to go back, man. When I was your age, you would not. When I first started teaching this class, I would never get two people to come up here and talk to it was hard. Once in a while, someone who was gay in the class would raise their hand and say, "I'm gay," but rarely, man. This is a totally different world. Yeah. Bro, do you have something? No? All right. Hey, I love it. Thanks. You awesome. Thank you. Just keep living. Just keep living your best life. Yeah. Do we have another question? All right. Well, we'll come back to it. Are we ready? All right. Let's go, man. Whoa, hang on. Oh, damn. All right, go ahead. Gentlemen, come on up. All right, man, introduce yourselves.
What's up? My name's Asher. I'm a nursing major. I'm a junior, and I'm from outside of Philly.
Wait, what's your major?
Nursing.
Nursing?
Yes, sir.
Dude, for some reason, you're a perfect nursing major.
Come on, stop.
Yeah, seriously. Max.
I'm Max. I'm a junior. I'm from New Jersey, and I major in supply chain.
All right, man. So go take a look at this next slide here. Go one more. Yeah. All right. So here's the LGBTQ legal equality index, and basically, when you go the far left, where it's 0. Those are countries where there's very little equality between straight people and members of the queer community. And as you go to the far right, there's a great deal of equality. So you look at Spain, look at Germany, the Netherlands, Canada, Brazil, strangely enough, not the United States. We're not at the top. We're at the second decile. Okay, so here. But we're moving toward countries being in the green, the yellow, the green, the blue, and the purple. Like, we're moving in that direction. So you guys, wait, you're both straight, right? Okay. All right, man. I should have checked with you beforehand. All right. So how is that for you that when I say that, we are moving toward the blue and the purple, the whole world. It's just a matter of time. How is that for you?
I don't really care. It doesn't really affect me one way or another. Like, as a straight white dude in America, it doesn't really affect me.
Well, it will affect you. I mean, it does affect you. You have friends, and are you planning to have kids?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so your kids might be gay. So it'll affect them. Okay, but go ahead. But you don't care.
No, I don't really care. Like, I mean, I keep to myself about being straight, I guess, so I assume you're going to keep to yourself if, like, you do whatever you are.
Mm-hmm. Bro, how about you?
I mean, like, me personally, like, I don't care what you want to do with yourself or, like, like how you feel. If you're, like, confident in yourself and, like, that's you and you love that, then, like, good for you, But if it gets to the point where it's, like, you're going to get mad at me for doing something by accident, because I'm not, like, very well-versed on all this stuff. It's pretty new, Like, as you saw earlier, like, from your generation, 2.2% or whatever, it's going to 22 point whatever. Like, it's still new. And our generation is brand new with that type of stuff. So, it's a new thing everyone here is learning. But going back to what I said, like, as long as it doesn't affect me, I don't care. I want you to be happy with yourself and, who you are, so.
So what do you think about the 3 volunteers, the two of you think about the 3 volunteers that we've had so far?
I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's cool. It's like a lot of times like people are scared to come out and say something, and it's kind of like what everyone's working on like within. It's like you gotta come out if that's what you believe in. Like I have a lot of like kudos to you guys. That's hard to do. I'm sure like you guys been judged before for like certain things, and that sucks. But that's kind of how the world is. But hopefully we're kind of moving more towards people just like realizing that like why does it really matter? Like why do you care so much that this person likes this person or that person? Like why does it matter to you?
Mm-hmm. How about you, bro?
I mean, yeah, like, good for you guys for, like, following your path. Like, that isn't my path, but, I mean, that's your path and that's your story, so good for you guys and, like, being proud of who you are.
It seems like they really are, all three are very proud of who they are, right? So as two straight guys, you're like the two. The reason I picked the two of you, I was looking for just a couple. Here, can I just show you? Let me show you what I wrote. Okay, so here. Callie, 4 moms. Akira and Allison, lesbians. Max and Asher, dudes. Just dudes. I was looking just for 2 dudes. I didn't want blockheads. I just wanted dudes. So when did you first start? People have the idea that it's been drilled in your heads that you have to say the things that you just said. Like you said, oh, we have these 3 volunteers, and, but you've been brainwashed to say those things. You have these 3 volunteers, and we have to be, it's whatever you want to do, it's good, and we got to be open to them, and good for them, and I support you. And yeah, you're just saying that because you've been brainwashed to say that by the education system that is ruled by liberals and the queer community and God knows who else.
I'm going to disagree with you on that one. That's definitely something that happens is, like I'm up here, I'm in front of all these people, I'm on live stream, I have to say this. But, I'm an honest person. Like, if I truly didn't believe what I just said, I wouldn't have said that,
Mm-hmm.
And, I just, like, especially, like, I guess generations going back, like, it's constantly, like, oh, like, make sure, like, you're, like, open and equal to everyone and stuff like that. But it's hard because, like, it starts at one point, right? Like, your generation is probably, like, more, like, I'm trying to, like, explain it the right way. Like, it's very, like, not open to you liking the opposite gender, right? So that generation teaches that generation and keeps going down and down.
Mm-hmm.
But I think like you just said that people have to say that. I think it's starting to get to the point to where people actually like believe in that and like are honest about like what they said.
So you're not, you guys, you didn't say everything that you said, which is this liberal kind of pro-queer ideology. You didn't say that because you've been told you have to say that. You really think it and believe it. That's part of the Gen Z generation also. Max, how about you? Like,
I mean, I think our generation, a lot of people are just more focused on themselves than other people in particularly. Like, so you say that to someone just because it doesn't really affect you. Like, if you're whatever you are, like, that's who you are. And I think our generation is just kind of accepting of that. Like, if you're into certain interests or something like that, aside from sexuality, like, people just tend to accept that for the most part.
you're just fine. You're finding that. All right, I have a question. How many people around you are really homophobic? Like, your friends? Like, I don't mean just they're going to be like, oh, that's so gay, right, kind of thing. Like, dude, look at your haircut. Oh, dude, that's so gay. I don't mean like that. No, yeah. That's not homophobic. I mean, like, really seriously homophobic.
I'll be honest, like, a lot. And, like, it's kind of hard to be around, like, people like that personally, but, like, the world's a certain way. And, yeah, it's starting to change, but, like, it's uncomfortable at sometimes, like.
What's uncomfortable?
Just like me, because like I don't care. Like I just said, like I love that stuff. You guys do what you want to do. I'll do what I want to do. We're all good. But to me, it's uncomfortable because they're so like they care so much about not liking this person because of that one thing. But have you ever like talked to them before? Like you're gonna instantly judge this person because they like this. But how does that change them as a human? They're human. You're a human. Why does it matter what you like? It's like. But if you're gonna like just go around just like hating people for that, like that's on you, man. I don't know how to tell you, but that's fucked up. Sorry.
So Max, how about you? How many people around you?
I mean, not too many. I mean, there's definitely a handful. Wherever you go, you're gonna find a handful of people who are like-minded individuals and who are, I guess, different from the rest of people just in their thoughts. But I mean, pretty much the same thing that Asher said. Like, I mean, if that's how you want to feel and stuff like that, then like I guess, you know, go for it. But I mean, you could also just kind of let go of it and it wouldn't really affect you at all.
Well, but here's the thing, right? I got two things to say. One is, but you guys just said, hey, but Gen Z, the people you're talking about are also part of Gen Z. So Gen Z is this group of people that, like the two of you are saying, no, it's just be who you are and just live and let live. But these people aren't living and let live. They're actually judging people on it. And they're also part of Gen Z. So so Gen Z is a little more complex. Okay, that's the first thing. Second, yeah, what do you think about that? Let me just ask you that.
I mean, that graphic you showed that said gay marriage, like 70% of people care. I mean, there's still 30% of people who do care. So, I mean, you can be in that group of people as well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But here's something else you both said. Just live and let live and be yourself. Like if it doesn't affect me. But it does affect you because, look, these 3 young women right here, they are your classmates, okay? And so if someone is spewing out some homophobic stuff or whatever listen, man, that's who they're talking about. Like these 3 lovely humans right here. So yeah, so that I want the two of you to just put a face to them. So next time someone's saying something, that's who they're talking to, right? And not only that, but they're talking to Callie's 4 moms. Like it's not just her. So now, what do you say to that? Like it does affect you because these are your classmates, right? These are your fellow Gen Zers. It might be your daughters or your sons one day, you know? Or your roommate, or your best friend, or the best man at your wedding, who it turns out it's going to be your best friend, who you meet next year, who's gay, and you're like, damn, man. Now that's different, right? So a thought on that.
It's hard because people that are like that haven't really been around people that, you know, because they're so used to judging them, they're not going to put themselves in a position to where they can, you know, try to understand. And that's like the thing. Like, I'll just give an example. Like my dad, where he comes from, like he doesn't like that stuff. You know what I'm saying? But he spent a lot of his life learning how, like, in order to change and like change within, you got to put yourself in that position to be around that person to really like understand that like, it's not that deep. Like, at the end of the day, it's not that deep.
Yep. What do you have any a thought on what I just said?
I mean, yeah, like it definitely does affect people in our classroom. I guess if, you know, some people will get up here and say certain things targeting other people, but I mean, at least when you were talking about people who you surround yourself with, like those are more closed-minded individuals, and I would say that a lot of people here are more open-minded just because of where we are at a university, so it's definitely a little different.
So you tend to not surround yourselves with people who are really, who most of us would agree are really homophobic. They would be people that you sort of pull away from.
I mean, like just making an assumption, those tend to be more like uneducated people. And I guess like we're more educated just where we are.
I don't know, but there's a lot of homophobic people here, man. You know what I mean? Bro, you know some. So listen, next time, here's what you do, man. Next time, get a screenshot of Allison and Akira. Get a screenshot and just pull it up on your phone and say, dude, when you're spewing that shit, that's who you're talking to. These are my classmates, former classmates, right? So, like, I just want you to see that it matters. G, you got a question?
I just wanted to ask some of y'all, guys, how do you guys distinguish somebody who acts homophobic out of sheer spite or out of obliviousness? Someone who's never really been exposed to it much, so they feel reluctant to this homosexual world, and they naturally go into this homophobia as a result, and versus somebody who's just hates it.
Dude, good question.
I would say like it's one thing being like homophobic, but it's also one thing like being homophobic, but like also like not trying to like understand the other side of it. Like if you're homophobic and never tried to understand the other side of it, then like I don't know how to help you, dude. Like something's wrong with you. I don't even know, but like if you really try to get out there and like understand the other side,
or just understand people, human beings, and all their various.
and if you try to understand people, like you really put the effort out, and you're still homophobic. I mean, like, I don't even know how to help you, but from there, but like, I don't know. At least you tried. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you got to meet people. Yeah. You know, I mean, part of the issue is, do you guys have any good friends who are gay?
I do, yeah.
Yeah. Do you?
Yeah, I have a couple from home.
Yeah. And do you talk to them about this stuff?
One of my friends, no. One of them, occasionally.
Uh-huh. All right. So then it does matter, right? These are people you would call friends. So, yeah. Jeff, do you have a question? All right. Do you, hang on. I think we gotta. Oh, do you have another question?
Because I also want to bring up the other side of the perspective of somebody who grew up only knowing faith and only being taught that that is the right way, so they don't have room to understand, homosexuality. Would you guys consider those just spite, or is that someone who's just unfortunate and like, I wouldn't say unfortunate, just obliviousness? Would you describe those as obliviousness? But they're still reluctant to accept that.
Yeah. Huh. Yeah, wait, hang on. Yeah.
That's a deep question, man.
Yeah. We got 1 minute, dude.
I was going to say, in the chat, the only thing they were really saying that I can share that's going to be quick, some people think that Gen Alpha, the next generation, is actually going to bring this number down. And one of the reasons is because the gamer words that we use with our friends is actually going a lot more of an increase in terms of the offensive language.
Yeah.
And so if that does happen, if in like 10, 15 years we're back in this classroom and having this same discussion,
the
question you should ask yourself is why and like what's happening, not necessarily saying anything about it, just why is it happening?
Yeah, we're going to let's talk about that on the office hours tomorrow. Gentlemen, thanks, man. Nice job. Thank you. All right. All right, y'all. Dude, nice job, man.